welcome. Another episode of our Footy Fantasy Pod. Today is the big one, the Twitter call, like I like to always call it, the Twitter battle. It's not a classic anymore. It used to be a classic in the late not 90s, early 2000s, I guess, even to the mid.
Yeah.
But now it's a Twitter battle. That's what we typically do every time. But this time, the league leaders, they came to Old Trafford very confident. Before we even go into that, just if you're watching this, like, share, subscribe on YouTube, Footy Fantasy. You can see it on the ticker moving. Share with your friends, enemies. You shouldn't have enemies, but if you have enemies, share with them, your family, share with everybody. The movement is going on. Let me introduce the guest. I'll start with my fellow United fan, Malone. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank you, Ayo. Thank you. It's a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Yep. I know this is your favorite team that you like to play against, so that's why I had to bring you up for this one.
Oh, yes.
And my good friend Steven, Arsenal fan, always very logical Arsenal fan. Thanks for coming on, Steve, as always.
Oh, that's good one. Logical Arsenal fan.
Steve is probably one of the most logical Arsenal fans I've met in my whole entire life.
Those two don't go together. Logical and Arsenal. No.
Yeah. Focus like a United fan. That.
him and my dad, I think probably the two most logical Arsenal fans I've met in my whole life.
Oh, nice. That's fantastic.
So yeah, I think we just dive in. Let's just dive right in. Let me start with Arsenal, I think, before we go, so that we can give some, since there's one Arsenal fan on here. What are your thoughts? Where was the game won and lost, Steven? Let's start with that.
The game was won and lost in midfield. Again, the defensive midfield position, we know Arsenal had a weakness there, and United were able to take advantage of it. I think any knowledgeable football fan who watching that game would not say that Arsenal didn't dominate the game. I think United set up to hit Arsenal on the counter, take advantage of the spaces once they played the high line, and that's how it went. I mean, Bruno got into a couple of dangerous positions and punished them, right? So I don't think the game told me much that I didn't know about the two teams. I think United are building and trying to recover. Ten Hag's trying to get his system in place, new players, so they're never going to be fluid. They're never going to be, again, playing full-on attacking football. I don't think they're ready for that yet. But I think Arsenal showed me what they've been showing me all season, is that they're not playing in games where they're dominating pretty much anybody that's in front of them from a footballing standpoint. It's just a case of whether they take their chances or not. And today was one of those days where, through bad finishing, bad decision making, getting hit on the break in bad times in the game, they cost themselves the game, to be honest.
Okay. Mika, what are your thoughts? Where was the game won and lost?
Yeah, I watched the match in patches and all that because I was in church. I'm very much involved in church. So I was doing a lot of praying, though. That luck. I just need a luck today. And I think, yes, that's exactly what I'll say, luck, because Arsenal really played fantastic football. I would say that. There was a long period during that second half. Arsenal was completely in control. I mean, they were in control of that game. And I don't know, they made very incisive passes into our area, like into the final third, and I was like, oh, they just need to finish. And thank goodness that Jesus didn't have his scoring boots today. So we took advantage, because if you miss chances like that, it bogs down players. I mean, I've played a little bit, so I understand if you miss chances, the turnover, and what United is actually built on right now is to once you're out of possession, once the opponent is out of possession, how can you hit them? That happened in Leicester City, that game against Leicester City. And we saw exactly the same thing that happened in Rashford's second goal. So that is the bane. If you think you can play soccer, don't play Manchester United now, because the back line is solid. The midfield, the creativity in that midfield, what Eriksen brings. I mean, he's played how many minutes now? I mean, he's been playing all the games. I mean, if he played 90 minutes against Leicester, he played 90 minutes again today. So I don't know where that lungs is coming from, but he's the main architect of that Manchester. He won the game for United today.
He did. I'll add to everything everybody has said. I think Arsenal played very well. I agree with that. I think the final thought, the execution was kind of off. and like you said, bad decision making. Jesus, Shaka. I think Martinelli played well initially, but he kind of became quiet. That was the thing that surprised me. He started very well. He just went quiet. I think if Martinelli had continued the way he started, we would have been in trouble.
But that's the thing I'm saying about the midfield. They couldn't, after a while, because United realized that the ball going out wide, for all the talk about the solid defense, Malacia and Dallo, if the game had kept going like it was and Saka and Martinelli kept getting them one-on-one, that game would have been over.
Correct.
But what they did is they said, you know what? Don't let the ball go out wide. The middle of the park is where we're not going to get hurt because there's no party in there. We know Xhaka is going to do what he's going to do at some point, and we're going to catch him high up the field. Odegaard, physically, McTominay dealt with him because McTominay just got close enough so that every time Odegaard got on the ball, Odegaard got away from him one time and he created a goal. So I just think tactically, United said, right, okay, if we try and play with these guys, they're going to end up battering us this way. We're not doing that. Like, we're going to set up and we're going to wait for the mistakes and we're going to take advantage of the players that we have. And I just think that's what happened, is that Bruno got into space a couple of times, picked a couple of worldy passes, Eriksen the same, and we're chasing back. You're seeing people's numbers and they're running in on goal. There's not much you can do to stop them.
Yeah, I agree. That one-on-one that he took out for Martinelli, especially when he took out that one-on-one from Dallo, like changed that game because I was worried. I don't
look at the first 15, 20 minutes.
Oh my God.
Every time Saka and Martinelli got one-on-one with Dallo and Malacia, they beat them.
Correct.
Yeah.
Every single time.
My heart was in my mouth. Anytime Saka or Martinelli were on the ball, they were really, really treacherous on United throughout the game.
Okay. TY says United fans, Saka did not do one. No, I don't agree. Saka.
No, they coped with it later on in the game. They coped with it.
Later they got better.
Later in the first half, Anthony started tracking back to help out on Dallo. With Dallo, and then on the other side, they started to force Saka inside more. They didn't let him go outside to get more space. But they dealt with it better as the game wore on because they set up to do that. They just said, hey, you know what? The game's going to get played in the middle of the park. And in the middle of the park, you've got Fernandes, you've got Eriksen versus basically Sambi Lokonga and Xhaka. That's where the difference in quality was between the two teams.
Okay. I agree. I definitely agree with
you. 100%.
I would like to talk a little bit more since we have more time, we'll not talk about the Liverpool game. I'd like to talk a little more about like Eriksen, because Eriksen, what you're talking about is, I'm slightly worried that we're like flogging him, right, too much right now. I will not lie, because if he gets injured, we're in trouble. Because he's the one that gives us, what Pep likes to call pulse control. Pogba was the one that used to give us that. Pogba is gone now. Eriksen is now replacing him. He gives us pause. We need that a lot, and I'm so worried about the fact that teams might start noticing that, you're on mute. Teams might start noticing that the way United creativity goes, it goes with Eriksen. If you stop Eriksen, you stop United, kind of, in a way. And teams might start doing what they were doing on Pogba, with like double teaming, triple teaming Eriksen. That might happen. But I also like Eriksen's intelligence, because I think they tried to do that against Leicester. He moves around intelligently. So I like that about him. That's number one.
Yeah.
Number two, McTominay. I criticize him a lot. I really, really do. Especially in possession. But today, in possession, he was calm. About one time that got picked off, he was calm in possession. Under pressure, he was.
You know what's weird? I actually think that you lot might have created a problem for yourselves now, because I think with the setup you have, his mobility is better suited to that midfield probably than Casemiro.
And Ten Hag sees it. That's why he's not bringing Casemiro.
But that's a problem though. Like when you paid 60-odd million for a 30-year-old.
It's a good problem. Let me put it that way. It's a good problem.
I don't know if it's a good problem.
It's a good problem in the sense that Casemiro himself will feel, oh, I'm coming from Real Madrid. McTominay is benching me. That will bring out the best in Casemiro anytime. Because, see, I see something with Ten Hag. You have to play yourself out of the team to get out. And then for you to play in that team, if you play well, you are rewarded.
Yes.
It's not about the names anymore. It's about what you do on the pitch at that certain time. Who in this world who apart from Erik Ten Hag, will put a Cristiano Ronaldo on the bench, a Maguire on the bench? This guy was bought for useless 80 million pounds. I mean, 85 million pounds, if I'm right.
85, yeah.
And you're sitting them down. That's a lot of pressure on the coach. But this guy just does stuff that pressure as if it's nothing. I'm going to succeed. He's determined to succeed, and nobody's going to come in his way. Even the Glazers. But Glazers out, though.
Of course. Glazers out. I understand what you mean, though, a little bit, Stephen, when you're trying to say, what I'm not too worried is because I was talking to somebody off the pod, is all the big coaches did it, right? I remember when Fabinho first came to Liverpool. Klopp eased him in. He didn't just bring him in straight. He eased him. It took like 10 games. Liverpool fans were complaining that season. I remember very well. Like, oh, where's Fabinho? It took him. And that's when they dropped a lot of points. Because remember that season, like they dropped a lot of points early on that season. Yeah. You know, before they now picked up. So same thing with Pep and Rodri. That season, I think it was.
I remember 2 seasons ago. Yeah.
He wasn't playing Rodri. Everybody was complaining. Play this guy. He was just easing it. So I'm very okay with him easing him.
Right now, he's doing that to Calvin Phillips.
Yeah, that's not complaining at all. He's nowhere.
Not even on the bench.
I don't know what's going on with Calvin Phillips. Maybe it's injury. I don't. That's a different conversation. But I'm very fine with that, to be honest. But I like the bold call of straight away throwing Anthony. I was going to talk about that. So I like that. I like a manager that is bold.
But that's not a big call when Elanga was playing. Like he had to.
Elanga was playing. Ronaldo was on the bench.
Yeah. No. But Ronaldo, again, if you're gonna play on a counter attack, the way you were setting up, Ronaldo wasn't the right call today. Even though he's a threat, Ronaldo wasn't the right call today. So he made that call. It's a big call, but he made the right call. I think on the right hand side though, like Elanga, he's been missing so many big chances. It's like there's no risk. There's no risk in playing Anthony in that game. And he played him for an hour and he took him off.
Let me tell you the risk. Imagine it starts Anthony, right? Anthony got from a different league. You can see the pace, how Casemiro is struggling to deal with the pace. And all of a sudden, that wing is open. And Martinelli and Zinchenko just double up on Dalot. And we get 3-0 down.
But that's what happened. But that's what happened for the first 10 minutes of the game. And then he said, hey, you can see Ten Hag told him.
They were not doubling up. I see what you mean. Snipe falling back. But they were not doubling up Dalot, though. It was always one-on-one. At least one-on-one. Yeah. You know, so I'm just saying.
We double up.
We go down.
But again,
the manager can play Elanga. Elanga is good tracking back.
But you're talking about doubling up. Tactically, Ten Hag saw Arsenal don't play that way. Like Zinchenko doesn't go high and wide. If Tini was out there, fine. But Zinchenko plays in midfield. Zinchenko sits in midfield. That's the problem.
He goes inverted. Yeah.
That's fair. But me, I think it was a big call just because everybody in Arsenal is in form. Like a very rapid. And if we go 2-3 goes down and it's coming to that wing, the criticism will come out like, how can you start him? So I think that's why it makes it a big call. And the fact that Anthony even scored again. But like I like the fact that when he got to 57 minutes, when he was tiring out, it's time to go out. And brought in legs, brought in Fred, brought in who did you bring on? Ronaldo. And that helped a little bit. That definitely helped. Because Ronaldo was drawing your center backs out of position. Gabriel, I'm going to talk a little about Gabriel. I think he's a good center back. But I think he still does this thing I've been seeing since he bought you, since he came to you guys. Correct me if I'm wrong, Steven. Where he gets sucked in to the play versus holding position. He does that. He's been doing this from his first year. He does that thing where he kind of made Saliba look a little bit shaky today. With that,
he's an aggressive guy. He wants to win he wants to challenge for everything. And his timing of it isn't great. So that's kind of why I think if you look at the back four right now, his position, especially with Saliba, is probably the one under the most threat. Because now that Tomiyasu is fit, I can see Tomiyasu coming back at right back, and I think Ben White can go into midfield. Because Ben White can do that aggressive ball winning, high up the pitch, winning of the ball job, and Saliba is decent enough in the air to kind of take on what Gabriel offers. And then remember that when we have Tomiyasu is very good in the air as well. So I actually think that when the Europa League comes and he has to kind of start switching the team around a little bit, Gabriel's position might not be safe, specifically because, again, we've played 6 games. Yes, we've done really well, but in most of those games, there's been an error here or there, and it's him, right? So high up the field, again, he was trying to cover Sambi today, which is, again, I give him a little bit of grace for, but that challenge he made was that it didn't make any sense. Even if you just jockeyed the guy and tried to send him out wide
Yeah, exactly. Just like move him out. Yeah.
So he kind of sold his partners out on that one.
The one thing I would say though, that why I understand what you mean, but you know, like this thing all coaches are doing now is like they want balance, right? So that left leg that he has gives him a lot of advantage, right? That's why Martinez always starts. That's why Pep is just waiting for Laporte to come back, so he switches into there straight away. He wants
I
that
agree,
balance.
but I actually don't. I don't think it matters with White, and I also don't think it matters with Tomiyasu. Like Tomiyasu can play on both feet. People forget that. Tomiyasu plays left back and right back and center back. He can play all three. Wow. So again, I just think there's options there for Arteta that we're probably going to see in the Europa League first. That's kind of why I want to see who he picks in the Europa League in midweek, because I think that's where the first time he's going to do a little bit more rotation. Because even today, I was surprised as how many people got off injury watch to kind of make the game. Because again, there was a lot of people carrying knocks, and they all of a sudden were fit for the game. So I want to see what he does in midweek.
Okay, fair enough. I agree with that. Man of the match. Let's go to man of the match.
McTominay.
Eriksen.
Oh, McTominay for you? Wow.
Eriksen for me.
Okay.
McTominay for me. McTominay kept United in that game.
Okay.
For me.
Wow.
Eriksen and Bruno won it.
Yep.
McTominay kept them in the game.
Fair enough. He was really good today. Like under the press, he didn't do the hiding thing that we always complain about. Where he hides behind opposition. He was coming, showing, and like beating the press. There was twice he beat the press. I'm like, wow, is this McTominay? Like, you can play this, boys. Just like
that's coaching, though. But that's coaching.
No, true. That's true.
The previous coaches we've not seen McTominay in this kind of like intelligent movement and all that. I've never seen it.
Yeah. But again, it's like it's coaching for sure, and it's also who he's playing with, right? Okay. Like Eriksen is so intelligent in the spaces he picks up, and you can trust his touch. Wow. Like you're playing with Fred, and Fred goes into a space. Do you play that pass because you don't know if he's going to control it? Eriksen and Bruno in front of me, I don't mind pinging a ball 100 miles per hour into their feet because they're going to take it. It's like back in the day watching Cazorla play for Arsenal. Like they'd give him the ball in some crazy positions because you just know he can take it.
His control with the man. Yeah. His control.
So I think that helps McTominay because I don't have to be perfect. I just got to get it to him. That's you don't think about it. You take that chance. You risk playing the ball maybe a little bit harder because you know they can control it.
And Steve, you're gonna make me change my mind. So I go with McTominay, and this is based on what Sir Alex Ferguson says: defense wins you titles, attack win you games. Okay. So on that premises, I go with you, McTominay for the man of the match.
And look at the game itself, right? So yes, United won. They only had 30% possession in the game.
There you go.
They had 3-4 shots on target the whole game.
40.
No, I'm just saying, right? So you watch the game.
It was 30.
Like, you watch the game and you're like, okay, if that's the stats of the game, it wasn't. The attacking players had a ton of the ball, and I think McTominay was key to that result.
Fair enough. Well, I'm going to go a different angle now, especially because of what you just said. Now, I'm going to use that point you just made. The fact that the attackers had fewer chances and Rashford was able to score 2 goals and an assist. 2 goals and an assist. For me, he gets the most difficult thing in football, like everybody says.
You know what I would ask you to do then? Go back and tell me how many touches Rashford had in the game. Yes, he scored twice. Two goals, check. How many touches did he have in that game?
But that's the reason. That's the more reason why I'm even praising him.
Exactly. It doesn't matter how much he touches the ball, but he's still well alert and ready to move once it's called on. You know, goalkeepers who don't have anything to do, and then there's a shot coming, and their mind is everywhere. Like, oh, okay, I've been busy. I mean, calling my mom on the phone. I mean, talking to my family while the play is on. Oh, the ball. Oh, I'm actually in a soccer match. But I mean, for you to have that presence of mind, just touching the ball twice and scoring twice, that's clinical.
Yeah.
But it's the reason I'm kind of being like a little bit devil's advocate on that, because I think Rashford is the type of player that if the ball was coming across the box and he had to take a touch and finish, he probably misses the chances he gets.
Fair enough. That's true.
Running in on goal, one-on-one twice, that is Marcus Rashford's game. Like, you're giving him goals, basically. But that there, he don't have to think. I'm running in on goal one-on-one, we'll pick my spot.
Bread and
Hey,
butter.
let's be honest. If this was Brighton or Brentford, the way we team were playing then, he probably misses those chances. Last season, there were games like that. One-on-one Rashford over the bar. Like,
Over the bar, yeah.
I just want to go different direction. Like every other person you mentioned, I agree. Like,
Yeah.
but Rashford, like 2 goals and an assist, and that pass for Anthony, that timing of that pass was everything. Because if he delays it or plays it too quickly, it goes away. It goes offside. So I'm going to give him. But Eriksen, though, my goodness, Eriksen looks so good because our midfield don't have enough technical. It's right deep. He looks so good with his. And it just kind of scares me, like, man, if Eriksen goes down, we'll be in trouble. That's what keeps going up my head. Like, if Eriksen goes down, we're going to be in trouble. And try not to be negative, but Eriksen gets my kudos. 90 minutes at Leicester, 90 minutes here. My goodness, the guy was exceptional. So, Arteta, I don't know if I should criticize him a little bit, because when I look at the game, I try to look at, and I'll let you do. This is your team. You know your team better than I do. When I look at that game, I look at that game very well. There's nothing I can really think of and say, oh, maybe we should have tried this or tried that, in my opinion, for what I watched. So I don't know if I have any criticism for him regarding, but you can go for it. I really don't know.
It's less about criticism for Arteta and more about the risk him and Edu have taken with the squad.
Okay.
Because I don't know if he had yet the options to change it. Like, so the only thing he could have done, which is what he did, is he went to the back 3 at one point, right? And he chased the game when Nketiah kind of comes on and we go to 2 up, right?
Yeah.
That's been the stocking trade change of shape when we've been chasing the game. And I think the reason he's primarily doing that is because he doesn't have alternatives to Xhaka in midfield at the moment. Like, if he wanted to kind of go with another ball carrier, because he doesn't have a defensive midfielder to call on, what does he do in that situation? He's either putting a centre back in there, in a Ben White or someone like that, or putting Zinchenko in central midfield permanently and bringing on Tierney. That's the only thing I could have thinking he could have done, is like bringing Zinchenko into central midfield and then bringing on Tierney rather than changing the shape completely, because we were having enough of the ball. It's just that we weren't penetrative enough when we got it through the middle. So he could have. That's the only thing I would have criticized him, is maybe go that route first before completely changing the shape, which is what he did. Because we went to the back 3 and a little bit confusion in that shape that cost us the goal. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I guess the other thing I was also going to look at is who would you say is your most important player?
Important?
Yes. This version of our season.
In terms of the way we play, is Odegaard.
Yeah.
Like, everything goes through Odegaard. If you stop Odegaard, you stop Arsenal pretty much, because the ball doesn't get into the danger as much.
That's exactly what McTominay did today.
That was the tactic. It was like get to him early. And like I said, the one time in the game, or 2 times, he didn't catch him. The first time when he flipped the ball over to Martinelli and he had the header that De Gea saved. And then the second time when he played that reverse pass into Jesus, and then that was where the goal came from.
Yeah.
But because he's just Odegaard. You talk about Eriksen, Odegaard. If Odegaard starts adding goals to his game, he is one of the best 10s in the league.
He's doing that.
I think
No. He had a couple of games back to back where he scored. But what I'm saying is, even in the game today, there were a couple of chances where he should have shot, and he's looking for a pass all the time. Like, if he gets that selfish edge a little bit, where he said, hey, I'm going to put my foot through this every now and again, rather than playing the little reverse pass or the little thing over the top. Yeah, he's cute. Like, he sees a pass, because even the pass he played for the goal, he had no business playing that ball. Like that, the ball, the obvious ball was to go wide to Saka, and he plays a reverse pass through the middle, takes out 4 players. That's Odegaard. But the thing for him is he has to dominate these games somehow. Like, even if he doesn't get as many touches on the ball, as much of the ball as we got him today, or we had as a team today, Arsenal should have won the game, and he should have been behind it. That's what he needs to add.
Okay, fair enough. Ika, who's United's most important player?
It has to be Eriksen. He has to be everything. He's like the glue. He's like the center point of everything good that we do.
Yeah, I agree.
He's the center point. He's the one who connects all the dots. It's like the whole team revolves around him. He's like in the middle. And for him to be playing 90 minutes in 4 days, 180 minutes in 4 days.
It makes me afraid. I would not lie.
Yeah, same here too. I'm like, is this guy going to pass out one day or something? It's in the back of your mind that this guy had surgery and all that.
That's pacemaker. He's built the pacemaker. People forget that.
Actually, when you say that pacemaker, I actually think you're Joe. You trolling.
No, he's playing with a pacemaker.
Pacemaker.
What?
Yes.
Still the pacemaker.
When you say that, Ayo, sincerely speak, when you say that, I'm like, you're just messing around, just making
He's playing with a pacemaker.
You know one thing about me, the thing I don't like, joke about is anything like health or like, anything like health, sexual. I never joke about stuff like that. No, I don't. I was not joking. So it always makes me afraid, like, ooh, this pacemaker, ooh, like rest him sometimes. Because I didn't expect him to play against Leicester. I knew he had to play today, of course. But Leicester, I didn't expect him to play that game. I expected to play like me 45 minutes, take him off. But I think he's getting a rest, of course, in Europa League. He's not going to play Europa. Because if he plays Europa, I'm like, okay, now you're taking the piss. Like, give this man some rest, please. Because he
that pacemaker, and okay, yeah, he had an issue, but that's just
yeah. So that's why I think we should not flog him this much, because even if he doesn't get injured, right? Second half of the season, he might get fatigued, right?
United are gonna, and again, people keep talking about second half of the season. Remember, the season stops in November.
It does.
So there's a lot of games, but the season stops in a month and a bit. So you can already start doing business. Yes.
But there's a World Cup, and these guys are going to play the World Cup too.
Did Denmark make it to World Cup?
I don't think he's going. I don't think he's supposed to be going to the World Cup.
Because I think he's retired, right? If I remember, he's retired from Denmark, right?
I think
this is where you see the lower teams that don't have teams in the World Cup playing well.
When they come back.
It has to be like that. Those lower teams are going to be up for it because they are fresh, like 1 month break.
That's true. That's very true.
And it's Boxing Day, right? So it's November, and then the next game back is Boxing Day, and then you have straight into the January transfer window. So what you're probably going to see is a load of players get signed early for January.
Okay.
So they just come back from the World Cup, and then they just join 1st of January.
Yeah. It'll be interesting because I really feel like the season can flip in January.
It's going to be mad. But that's why I think Man City aren't scared. Because everybody keeps going on about they're not the deepest squad, but I think that they've got things up their sleeve for the second half of the season. I think they'll go again in January. I think it's stupid for people to assume that Man City are going to go into the season.
If you ever count out Man City, then you don't understand this football we're talking about. They're literally going to coast this season. That's how I see it. It's sad to say, and I used to say something. I would like to say it on air to Ayo. I like Klopp, but Pep is better. Let me say that. Let me say this straight now. I used to say, I like Klopp, and Klopp is better. Yeah. But I like Klopp. Better.
I think they're both quality managers. I think you can't really say that about Klopp because Klopp doesn't have the resources that Pep has. Pep is a class coach.
I keep saying that, but this season, what has happened this season has changed the whole thing. How can you not manage Salah and Mane? How?
But I don't think that situation. People are not watching what's happening in Liverpool. It's purely financial. It's financial.
Okay, you having financial issues and then you're selling your best player.
No, but it's financial. No. The financial issue is paying them both. That was the financial issue. They had to give Salah his contract. Salah's now on a 300 bags a week, whatever it is, 200, 300 bags a week contract. They had to pay them. So they both had to get paid. Their both contracts are running down. They both want to get paid what they're supposed to be getting paid, right?
Late, so they should have money.
No, but it's Liverpool do not have the resources to compete like that. So they basically made a decision. They went and got Diaz, who I think is going to be a top player for them. And they basically said, we're going to retool with some younger players. So Carvalho, Elliott, all of those guys are there. And the problem for Klopp the start of this season is all down to the fact that they couldn't do anything in midfield. So they lose Thiago, they lose Keita, They lose Oxlade-Chamberlain, who's always injured again, and then they basically down to kids.
Oxlade lost him, so he's always lost.
Right. So the problem, you can't say Klopp fell off because he's playing with Carvalho and Elliott with Fabinho in midfield.
Okay, because my train of thought has always been, how can you not manage Mane and Salah? You don't manage players like that. So that makes perfect sense then.
That is pure money.
But I'll still put Pep. There's something about Pep. I don't like him, but it's just good.
I think in terms of his philosophy,
he's the best out there.
And the fact that he could go anywhere and his philosophy always comes through. But at the same time, because again, doesn't matter whether you could just buy the best players. You still have to coach them and get them to play the way he wants them to play. So that I give him credit for.
United has been buying the best players. Yeah. They just buy players, not for a system. They just keep buying players.
Yeah, I think it's crazy how he does it, but then I also think the fact that he can just go, okay, I need a striker. Yep, Haaland. Oh, I need it's just that there is privilege.
It's privilege, but he earned the privilege. Let me take this comment quickly. So Yinka using 6 games. Also, money wasn't so because Klopp wanted to go, but there wasn't enough money. Yeah. You should ask the Liverpool fans are angry with the owners. Stephen, you brilliantly analyzed it. Yeah. But in my opinion, though, right? I know
I'm learning. I'm happy that I learned from that. I'm a focused person on Manchester United straight. That's me.
Yeah, I know.
That team. I focus on Manchester United. So thanks for the knowledge.
That's a good segue into Liverpool, but just staying with that conversation, I've always put them at par, right? That was my conversation. Where people used to say, Klopp is better. I always say I think they are at par because I think Klopp is doing exceptional. What's that with those resources?
But
what I always say is we've seen managers try to do this, like get this type of privilege and not be able to sustain. This was, let's just say, Mourinho, different style of football, right? But peak Mourinho times, Chelsea, this thing, he couldn't sustain this level of Pep. He couldn't. I think Mourinho was peak for like 10 years, 9 years. That was peak Mourinho, 9 years. But after that, he couldn't, and he was getting the best resources then. Still,
but you know the difference with Pep as well, and that's one of the things that I love about what I think Arteta's picked that up from him is the personalities of the players that they buy. So they buy top players, but they're also like crazy invested into who they are as players. So they want to get better all the time. So he can coach that out of them. So it's an interesting dynamic. The way he buys players, like that's why I was always baffled a little bit when they went and got Grealish, because I felt that personality, I didn't see that in a Pep dressing room. Like which is why I don't think he lasts there past this season. I just don't think Grealish is as committed to his craft as he would want a player to be.
That Cruyffian principle, right? Like that's what I always tell people. Like Pep is from that Cruyffian school of thought that like they monitor everything, your diet, like you said, what you do outside. Like they're crazy human beings, and that's going a slight segue. Ten Hag kind of buys into that a little bit of that. Cruyffian principle, working on that Pep.
Ten Hag worked with Klopp. Worked with Pep.
All of them. But that's what I'm saying. Like I see that with Arteta. Like,
it's critical. Personalities have changed our dressing room. See, Malasha is not that great. He's one-on-one defending. During the game, I was making comments. One of is not that great. But he makes it up for that dog. He has that dog in him. Martinez too. You have that dog. You need that. You need that personality. Because when you're in the trenches, you need that extra effort. Yes, I agree.
I'll dug in. They'll dug their foot in. Like, yes, nothing is happening. We'll take the bull by the horn. And let me reply to that last thing. You're saying 6 games. How many points did City use in winning the league? You're saying knee jerk. It's not knee jerk. City is in the league. Let me reply you. City is in the league. You can't afford to lose ground on them.
Do it in maths, right? So between almost 15% of the games are gone already.
Yep.
And you're like, see, you have to do it based on that. So it's 6 games, yes, but it's a significant amount of the games are gone, and they don't drop points like that. They're capable of winning 6-7 games in a row, and then you look.
Arsenal has a lot in the bank now for top 4. They're in the shoehorn for top 4.
Arsenal had to be
this way.
Arsenal, but again, people aren't looking at the fixtures. Arsenal play Chelsea, Liverpool, City next month.
Okay. Back to back.
across a couple of weeks, and then obviously Europa League's in between. So this is basically, remember Spurs last year?
Yep.
So Spurs won their first 5 last year. Then what happened? They lost the next 5 and their manager was sacked.
That's a good
Like,
point. That's a good point.
I don't think it's going to be that crazy, but Arsenal got some tough fixtures there. The good news is most of them are at home. So I think they play 2 out of those 3 big games at home, which will help. But yeah, I think Arsenal, it's good. They're going to, like, this was an opportunity to more make a statement to the league for Arsenal than anything else. But they got some tough games coming up. So I think the league right now is still all over the place. And yeah, City can go on a run from here. And it's a wrap for everybody.
Yes.
So Liverpool, let's talk about Liverpool just a little bit. I don't know. I didn't watch the game. I don't know if any of you watched the game. The Merseyside derby.
I did a little bit. Yeah.
You did? Okay. What are your thoughts, Stephen? First,
I thought Everton played great, and I was highly annoyed because Onana had a really good performance as well, and we should have signed him. Like that's one of the players that I wanted us to get. And we didn't. I don't know how we ended up at Everton. That's going to be one of them that someone's going to end up paying 60, 70 million. If he keeps going like he went this weekend, like he's a quality player. So their midfield is going to be significantly better now because they got Gay, they got Onana, they got Ghana. So they're going to be. They played well. I think Everton played really, really well. I think physically Klopp got it wrong because he went with the 2 little guys in midfield with Elliott and Carvalho. And Everton were able to cope with them or keep them inside. And yeah, they just didn't get the ball to their dangerous players quick enough and in places to hurt Everton, and Everton coped. I don't think Liverpool are playing well, but yeah, they're still trying to feel. The biggest issue for them is their midfield.
Fair enough.
And I think
Let me just take this comment quickly. Sorry, you got the comment says, how long until Mr. Rogers goes back to the unemployed office? I think he has one more game.
Tonight.
You think he gets fired today?
Tonight. You can't be losing 5. No.
I think he still has some.
I think that one more game.
I don't even give him the 1 tonight.
You think he goes tonight? Okay.
He has enough in the bank to make it up to the team. He has enough in the bank. He won them an FA Cup, right? He won them
I hear you.
And he's been constantly like top 10 for a while now.
No, but think of the circumstances. He's been consistently top 10, but in a couple of those, they should have gotten Champions League and they threw it away with him as well.
But again, they are playing Europa. They've been constantly in Europe too.
They're not in this season.
They're not. I just think that what he has. I think the reason. Okay. Normally, I would say Rodgers deserves time. Current circumstance, because they weren't able to invest in that squad, they need someone to come into that dressing room right now and get their players that they have at least focused on playing for somebody else, maybe with some different ideas and a different sound. Because I think that's where they've got quality players.
You're good. I love the way you're reasoning because they need a change.
Yes.
Since they didn't change personnel, then who do you change?
You gotta change him. Like, I think it's him.
Manager has to go. Yeah.
But they won.
You need to freshen something up.
They do. Liverpool. You can find out us. So I move to the next section.
I believe Liverpool wasn't just clinical. They hit the bar like 3-4 times in that game. I mean, dead center goals, like goals that Salah will score on a very good day. Look at the one he missed against Fulham. Bournemouth actually. The ball, they scored 9 goals and Salah didn't even make an assist. I think there's something going on. He's probably missing money or something. Something is going on with him.
It's space and fight. They're getting chances, but they're not Liverpool chances. They're not like center a goal, tap in. Like the midfield, they're not getting the ball up the field as fast as they normally do. So you can play higher against them now. And even when they play with Nunes, that's the other thing as well. When they play with Nunes, I don't care about Nunes is quick, but he's not Mane quick.
Lightning quick. Quick.
In behind. So I don't mind playing another 5 or 6 yards up the pitch to stop them getting in behind me now, because I don't care about Nunes running away from me. He's bigger, but I can win that battle. That's what people are saying to themselves.
Yeah.
So they got to get the ball wide quick, and I don't think they can do it. And he keeps taking off it. When do you see Klopp keep taking off Trent and Robertson as well?
Something's not working.
Because they're not getting the wide areas of the pitch. Isn't working for them. He keeps changing his 2 fullbacks, which is basically the 2 biggest sources of goals for them.
Goals, yeah.
I saw a tactical thing. I'll wait for. There's a lady I follow, Grace Robertson. She writes extreme tactical articles. And she's a Liverpool fan. I'm waiting for what she's going to come say, because I trust her opinion. But one thing I've noticed, and I saw that somewhere, is the fact that now, before they used to have like Firmino, like link up play, and they used to exploit the half space. That's where Salah thrived a lot. Even though he's a winger, he was playing like inside forward consistently, that half space. Now, what I noticed a lot is Salah is so wide. Exactly.
Because he's worried about servicing Nunes, which doesn't make sense.
Correct. Yes. So Nunes doesn't bring people into play, and he's worried about servicing Nunes. So that's one thing I see that Klopp has to figure out. And my thoughts are, before he figures it out, it might be too late for a title challenge. I think it might.
I already think it's too late for a title challenge.
I think
like, these teams are losing 2 games a season. It's not even a joke.
Yeah, I know. That's true. That's what's massive. Just 2 games a season, and that's it. Let's take final quick comments, then move to predictions for next week. I was right regarding Pep's consistency is commendable. Yep, drag standard of the PL. Pep is a monster. Brendan Rodgers not showing enough character. I like that. Mr. Character. He's gone within the next 5 games. He has mentally checked out too. Ronald wanted to and got sacked the next season. Those Leicester guys don't play around. Yeah, I agree. I think he's getting sacked next week. If they don't win next week, he's getting canned. Let's do predictions. Ooh, Fulham, Chelsea. Steven, what do you think? Fulham, Chelsea at Craven Cottage. I think that's where they play.
Draw.
I say draw. 1-1 draw.
Let's take the last comment, because I was waiting for him to say, sorry, about it. This is a Liverpool fan. Midfield is our biggest issue. Too many injury-prone players and owners who are unwilling to invest big money unless they sell enough players to almost balance the books. Klopp is trying a new system where Salah is wide right and Trent is through the central midfield areas, the way City also used Cancelo last season. But it ain't working so far because Salah is too far from goal. Fair enough.
Yep.
Fair enough. Good point. Okay. So 1-1, Stephen?
Yeah. Now, I think probably higher scoring. I think maybe a 2-2 draw.
A 2-2 draw. Chelsea is struggling, man.
Chelsea can't keep sheets, and Fulham are pain in the backside to play against.
Chelsea are struggling, man. Tuchel. I'm worried for Tuchel the next couple of months. We'll see. Ika, thoughts?
I doubt it if they're going to be able to stop Mitrovic. That has been he has been a revelation. I mean, he's played in Premier League several times, but this particular team, he's just potent. Like, he beats his man and scores, or he beats you in the air and scores.
Yeah, they've changed their tactics.
Exactly. He knows exactly what to do. And then they have Williams. We don't know whether we'll get William of Chelsea or William of Arsenal. That's another debate.
I
know.
We're gonna get William from the beaches. That's what we're gonna get. We're gonna
get So what is your score?
1-1 draw.
That one. I'll say 2-2. I think Chelsea are like, without N'Golo Kante, Chelsea just don't look the same. That midfield just gets overrun. No. Chelsea go the way N'Golo Kante goes, pretty much. That's Chelsea. That's the way I look at Chelsea. Every time I watch them, like,
they got a midfielder now.
Zakaria.
Yeah, I think he helps. They just need that profile.
Yeah, he helps. They need creativity too. That's the second time. They just have too many in between. Like, they have good players that can carry the ball back and forth. They have good defenders. They have good finishing when Aubameyang comes in, Sterling, but they don't have creativity. There's no creativity in that midfield.
Chelsea just gonna
define system in which they play in, like Pep, like Klopp, like Ten Hag.
They play Conte ball. It's the same. Like Chelsea and Tottenham are the same. 3-4-3. Get the ball wide.
Just
inside forward.
He's the knockoff
No. But of course, they're the same. They're the
I
same.
know, but that's not Tuchel, right? I used to know him from Dortmund. Dortmund's my second team. He just changed. He's become this pragmatic. I'm like, what are you doing? This is
Very
your
erratic.
Conte has been playing back. I keep telling Conte has played back three from when he was the captain of Juve. Like back three has been in his head for a long time since Siena days before he played Juve for like 8 years. That man, so that's all he wants to play. So
but I think Tuchel will transition to a 4 once he gets Fofana and Koulibaly. You can't play a 4 with Silva in the back 4 because the pace behind when they were playing with Azpilicueta and Thiago. So, but once he gets Fofana and Koulibaly with James, I think they go to a back 4.
Okay, I'll watch out for that. That's a good point. Man City Spurs. Oh, sorry, mine is 2-2. Fulham Chelsea. Man City Spurs. Steven. Spurs always beat Man City. I don't know how they do it every season.
They always beat them, and Man City at the back are ropey as well right now. Like
very ropey, very very ropey.
I hope for myself it's more heart speaking than head. I'm hoping another draw. I'm hoping 1-1, but my head tells me that Spurs nick that game.
And by force, Ivan Jorginho suicide makes sense. 1-1, but it's still Spurs nick that. Oh, because your fellow title challengers. You got
Spurs win the game 2-1.
Conte ball.
Yep. They will grind out that win. They'll ground out the win.
They'll ground out the win.
Yep.
I'm thinking of Pep. I feel like Pep is this kind of manager where if a particular team or a manager is getting over him like consistently, he has this one statement game where it's like, okay, I have something for you. Where he's going to switch something up and attack your weaknesses, So because of that, I think Man City are at home. They need to win. I think they win. I think they win 3-1. So I'll go with that. Arsenal, Everton. Steven.
2-1 Arsenal. Home game.
Home game, yeah. After a loss, people need to bounce back. I agree. Everton. And you guys always find a way to always know how to beat Everton.
It's going to be a hard game, like I said, because I think Everton organizationally are getting themselves together, but they still lack a little bit of a threat up front. So I think they probably nick something from a set piece, and then we do what we do at the other end. But I think it's going to be a tight game. And it's after the Europa League as well. So we're away at Zurich and then coming back and playing on Sunday. So I think it's going to be a tight game, but I think we win.
Okay.
So my hat wants Everton win and Arsenal lost. But I'll go for a draw in that game because I don't think you guys are going to bounce back from that loss. You've won 5 games on the trot. This is a new territory for the team now, losing another game. I don't believe your team has that character to come back. I see a draw. Arsenal nicking it in the last, scoring the equalizer probably in the 5 minutes extra time to get a draw out of it. That's my prediction.
Okay. Pep is going to stand for losing 3 games. Man City will beat Spurs. I agree. I think it's a draw. I think Arsenal, the whole Thursday, Sunday thing, might play Everton rejuvenated. So I see like a 2-2. Arsenal just score a lot of goals. So I think I see a 2-2 draw. The Liverpool Wolves, Steven.
This is another one. I still don't think Liverpool are right, and Wolves are a hard team. I think.
Ooh, I love Steve.
Probably go 1-1.
1-1. Okay. Wow, Liverpool 1-1. You got?
I think Liverpool will win it. It's like their team B playing team A. They get all the players from Wolves. So I think Jota is back, right?
He's back.
Yeah, Jota is back. I think they'll win 2-1.
Question is Klopp brave enough to pick him? Because he got his £80 million striker. He got to play.
Oh, yeah. There's Champions League.
The hole behind him. Jota will play the hole behind him.
Yeah.
Over Firmino? Like he brought Firmino, played Firmino in midfield the other day.
Yeah, and the Champions League, so it depends on lineup because their first game is tough. I think they're away at Napoli in the first game. That's a tough game that they usually struggle in. I think they win. I agree with you.
They'll win. I
just look at Wolves. That Wolves just like they are getting back.
And Liverpool, still my younger brother. Just can't give me my 3 points.
Yeah, who's have almost gone back to like like Bruno last season they were exciting, but they are almost now going back to like the Nuno Espirito template again. It's like they're so boring to watch. They don't create. I don't like watching Wolves. I'm like this team. They just annoy me when I watch them. They don't create any chance. They wait for Neves screamer once every 5 games. Like what is this? And I'll play on the break with Podence and Pedro Neto. That's all they do. It's like what are you guys about?
But that's what makes them so hard to play against. That they don't concede a ton of goals.
Yeah, they don't like
muscle man.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think Liverpool wins 2-1. Jota play on left in place of Diaz, and Jota is actually a better goal threat from there. Yeah, okay. Good point. Palace Man United, Steven. That's the last prediction.
I think United have got good momentum. I think Palace is a different type of game because you can't play on the counter-attack against Palace. So you have to go and take the game to them, and I think that's where United need to figure something out. But Palace are a dangerous team to play against just because of the pace. But I think United probably win it. I say maybe another 1-0 to United.
1-0 to United. I like that. 1-0 to the Arsenal. 1-0 to
we're with Palace, right?
Yeah.
It's always tough at that stadium.
Yeah.
United win, just barely winning that game. It's going to be tough.
Yeah. What do you think? Scoreline?
Probably 1-0.
1-0. I see 2-1. I just feel like we always kind of concede because we know that's solid. Like, I mean, we had 2 shutouts, yes, but Palace are a different proposition, creativity-wise. And the reason why I'm just confident we win because Palace is not like, this is not Roy Hodgson. If you were playing like Roy Hodgson, maybe I would have been worried because if you said low block and everything. But this Palace want to play. They want to come out. So I like that. So I don't, even though we can't just play strictly counter, I think we'll catch them on break once or twice. It feels like this team is so specific in how they can catch you on the break. And so far, they've been clinical. When we get chances on the break, we're not missing chances on the break. We're scoring. So that's something I'm banking on to continue for now. Maybe Ronaldo will start that game or he plays Europa. We'll end with Kudos and Donkey of the Week.
That sounds funny, though.
Ronaldo Europa, right? Hey, that's where he is now. Father time has come. Steven, who's your Kudos and Donkey for the week?
Kudos. I'll give it to Ten Hag because again he's gotten the results and again, however we got here. But it's a good moment. So I'll give it to Ten Hag.
Okay. Yinka, Kudos.
I give it to Ten Hag too. I mean, it's like magic. The first 2 games compared to the last 3 games, it's like last 4 games now. We won 4 on the trot, right?
Yeah.
I mean, whoa! It seems like a long time that we lost those first 2 games.
Yeah.
But I give it to him for turning the tides for United. Ten Hag all day. Yep, he gets the kudos.
Okay. I agree with that. Kudos for him, but I'll just add somebody else, of course. This Rashford is just because I feel like he's taking a lot of start. Some fair, little fair, but most unfair. A lot of stake for like what he does outside football. I think that's just weird when people do that.
I actually think something happened to Rashford last year that we don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, we always say like personalities respond to things differently, right? So if him and Saka and Sancho all went through the same things.
Yeah.
And Saka comes back, he's taking penalties for Arsenal after missing a penalty in the Euros.
Yeah.
Probably he was player of the season for us.
Yeah.
And then Rashford, I don't know what happened there. Like last season, he just didn't show up.
Yeah.
No.
So I just think I felt sorry for him last season because I felt that he was dealing with some stuff and no one ever actually gave him the benefit of the doubt for dealing with it. He just had a weird end to the season and it just carried him into last season. He never recovered from it. So I think he's doing well to kind of come out of it a little bit. But the trust of the manager is helping for sure.
I agree. Especially just how everything happened. He was about to leave, his agents, all of that. So I'll give him that. Oga Kwame says, kudos, Avantoni. Yes, hat trick.
Oh, wow, yeah.
ETH honorable mention. Donkey of the week. Who's your donkey? Anybody wants to go?
Brendan Rodgers.
Oh, yeah. Easy.
Whoever's doing VAR this weekend. Every single game. Like the West Ham one with Mendy. Come on.
Yes, that's ridiculous.
Coutinho offside.
Oh,
I knew it was like
There were just so many bad refereeing things and VAR things this weekend. It's
yeah. Okay, I agree with the VAR. West Ham.
I
I saw.
don't, it's like they're getting worse. How do you get worse? I just yeah.
probably yeah. It's just like they're like, okay, we don't have to do much. We have the VAR, and then they're making mistakes even in the little things that they're supposed to just catch on replay. I mean,
But sometimes I think they're overdoing it. Like they're getting involved in situations. Because again, even with that one with Coutinho,
Chelsea.
the whole one with Mendy, the guy literally jumps over the guy, and anyway.
Yeah, yeah. I agree. That's what my done. The referee and the VAR for Chelsea game. I agree, 100%.
But I think it kind of balances out, or probably they were looking at the incident at when Spurs came to town. They were like, okay, they missed that, and they're gonna just give this and help Charles. I mean, that's how it feels. That's how it feels.
I was celebrating. I thought they were going to drop more points. I was so happy.
Same here. Same here.
I was celebrating.
Yeah, there's just some bad calls. Because even the Coutinho one, Man City could have lost.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, actually. Okay, that's true. Didn't think of that.
Yep.
Okay, come to the end of the show. Everyone, there's a quick one today, which is good. Because we have another show for people watching, the United only show where Buchi will be hosting. So State of United, just stay tuned to that one. But this one will come to the end. Steven, thanks for joining us as always.
Thanks for having me.
We didn't cook wings too much, and Arsenal wings, we let it go.
You got takeaway. That was it.
So just take away.
You didn't cook anything. You got takeaway.
Nottingham Forest, okay, from 2 goals down. Yeah, I agree. Yinka,
That was shite. Yeah.
thanks for coming on.
My pleasure.
United is back, hopefully. But we're starting to get there. I don't say back loose.
No, we're
just building. We're building.
We are not there yet.
Yeah,
Arsenal is there already. I mean, they're on top of the league.
Yeah. So
We're gonna get a couple more wins after this one. If we get 2 more wins after this one, then this one doesn't matter. It's United away.
all right. Well, to everyone in the comments, we're out. Thanks.
Yeah.
Bye. Thanks, Steven. Thanks, Yinka.